Someone managed to outdress me. No, it's. I gotta mention that to him. I am so sorry to interrupt, but I'm sorry. I'm on the air here, just real quick. I'm sorry. Well, there you go. You see, I appreciate that, man. I really appreciate the look. That I need to find a place to sit down. I've been all over the place. Arriving, everybody, and join. And if someone wants to join audio, don't I? Okay, let me switch out and I'll be. Oh, what a wonderful day. This has been alien scientist, I have to add, and skateboarder. Whether he's kept up with it or not. There are conversations. Another thing that's a little bit just not here. Possibly. Any scientist on earlier podcast. Experiment the second time. And, hey, there he is. Can we do it? I don't know why not. So, yeah, I've been on cloud nine. Oh.
Well, Tons, I thought some of these umbrellas were. I guess they are, yeah. Oh, yeah. Earlier.
I looked at your. Okay. Edge, the copper one, it used to be an inch wide and used to go all the way.
That repulsion, that would reduce the weight loss.
Now, the other, between the top and the bottom. But, no, actually, you have to. Okay, so the extent of an inch away from the surface. Or only a half inch away for the motors that you chose. Pull out of a VCR. You want those. You don't want those. You want to go in equivalent to a 35
RC motor. Pretty easy because the electric. In fact,
exactly what you need to do.
I was, or 2 years, they were radio. Every time I had to make them wired, like the high voltage. But you know, with the wire, do that.
What you need to do is encasing the case and throwing ambient into the case. It's defeating. Yeah.
The wind blows more.
What you need to do is put the motion in order to prevent it from reflecting.
That's it. And I'm wondering how exactly.
You don't need a complete case. Keep the sides of the motor from a discharge.
Right.
It's not going to. It may cause. Okay. So, was looking at it. When you're when I'm working with this stuff, where
dispensary diagonal, not dispensary, flour and tinctures.
Oh.
I got everything.
And what?
I got a lighter upstairs.
That right here. Off where the weed fell out.
Like a cigar.
Because that'll run like a mother truck. Yeah, instead of thinking as a ball 6 times, it's going to block hours. In a block diagram like that several times. However, when
the light only
it collects on that surface and then dissipates as it is being expanded too much and on its way like a flash. When you think of this, will reflect
force in one direction.
Right.
Windy, late afternoon, early evening.
For all the signs that every.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Slow the airflow down.
Road trip back to Fort Collins and described taking in my area. I don't even have a source. I'm lucky to see it. I've got lower. I'm going to pretend to be a star guy. However, they're south from Fort a thing called Indian Mound. That is somehow associated since the occupation. It's now a restricted area. He wants to do. Generation. It doesn't matter. We got to get out.
Cameras.
You're down. I had Roseline. I can't do anything else, but his lyrics was broken. No, it was.
I don't either, right?
It's got shaken into my. The other thing is when you that like you balance a propeller. I mean, you're going to Las Vegas with an for pause there that I see. Yes. But it'll tickle every time until that moves up. And
the vaporizers.
Right. Yeah.
It's not good for you.
But and it was right after I got that injury. When I have this cough is when I'm actually, yes, they did do it deliberately. It was more than deliberate.
Oh, no.
I had the name before I had this. There was a kid thought I was still good, but they call this winning. And then he sat there and slammed me into I turned around, I broke his leg. I did something else. And everything from the lowest creature, they picked me up. His name was John St. John Jr., isn't he? He's a recording artist for Frank Sinatra from Africa. I met him back in '70. No, orchestra, and it was supposed to be so wonderful. It just never took off. The field side of the Fantasia and the presentation of
what is appropriate?
Some native knew it. Unfortunate, but I actually served one of.
Oh, was he visiting in the
busboys that delivered the meal? The Omni International Motel, motel, and I served John Wayne. That doesn't come. But we were showed up, known oil barons actually in the motel as well. The other thing, and I was there under a but I used a paper trip. I got a
I never heard of that.
And the Onion Press. Remember the 57 bad, terrible, a bomb, and when the internet come along, it was just okay. This was the pub, and I have no. By the time I identified the anarchist book in the same publication, taboo of the subject.
Wow.
Right, and through that publication, the 20s manuals and trainings, it was called the Paper Trip, where you could, you look at the thing, go to their funeral,
Their identity.
and you just assume that of it or make a typo. A ton guy driver. Back then, you could do it every behind the desk. You'd walk in 20 minutes later. I mean, at that time we had especially in Florida, this was true. Mafia. Okay, ID. Well, that would go in stiff, straight arm. Now the routine. One thing you wouldn't think would need to do if you were to do this. What?
New Mexico person.
I have. She's here.
There's.
Oh, here.
What she did? No.
Is she expected?
But she's on her file on Wednesday night. Yeah. And she's supposed to show up. I remember that. They're like, oh man.
This one I need to have a private because a private conversation might ruin the. No, there's on the air, by the way. The camera's facing me. Record, absolutely. He misses this great big piece. It's called The Beginning of Time. That there's and he's invited the 4 representations, and can't invite one without the other specific. Now conversing with. Yet he is talking. Yeah, because that doesn't mean we're talking about Channel 5. 5 is 2 different facts than Channel 4. If he's sitting. They trace that back thing that the previous writings, bloody names of everything. Contacting out there to be 2 guys are the bad guys. The rest of us 6 have been getting along for dang bimbo or is, what, that just responds to anybody. Problem, he has not separated away from the nation and says, okay, we'll find out. He's got a missing piece in there, and I fear for everybody around him. No, because worship the same thing that he's taught.
That's right.
Yeah. Or that's scary as hell.
That is scary.
Fulton Howe has the connection to God.
I've heard a guy.
Okay. There was 1 out of an hour and a half until he said one sentence. Hour and a half. And because he had no clue what he lecture of U.S. bills. They're already in place, already in mass. 44, the end of the war, for the what? Research. 3 years, you can actually push it through manufacture.
Oh, yeah.
Now, This effort was a global.
That was 47. That's the bird. That's the key to New Schwabenland.
Good. No name.
That's, I like that. Yeah. I like that. I'd love to build an RC version.
Okay, I don't hear anything from you. No. Okay, you just showed off something.
I did a better tiger.
Okay, what was the topic?
Masonic type, land of enchantment.
How many Masonic symbols you can find in North Dakota? There's really a lot. Yes.
Why North Dakota particularly?
Right. Got to America. Hail of these stones or markings and things of the U.S. crossing over historically the
Native American. Not talking about pretty much.
Right.
Well, that's because this is, you know, oh man, my great grandmother Cheers actually was named on my father's side, it was my Cheers, and my grandmother, who died in 1977. My mother's side looked like, you know, you took an old person, you know, except with lighter skin and green eyes. Been Scotch, Irish, and Danish, Eastern European Jewish.
Anyways, yeah, they think right now that the treasure that they were hauling, okay, was divided into several pieces and stored at different locations. Huge amount of it's supposed to be in North Dakota and Canadian near the border.
Wow. Was that because it was an easier access to Canada or something?
No, Canada didn't exist then. Remember, this was back, you know, 100 years before America was even discovered.
Models, these are prototypes? These are working, flying prototypes? That has to be electric.
The tail was bent twice. The rudders come out at a 45-degree angle and bend like that, but you can't see. Well, what it is a delta.
Like Corsair.
It's a delta.
But it has what looks like the tail on the SR-71 as well as the
yeah, this one here,
the 117.
you can tell it on the rear fin. If you look at the rear fin, it's, yeah, I know. There's a 45-degree here, and then it takes off and goes vertical. Right. It has a bend in the actual rudder in that.
That is a beauty.
If I hadn't seen the photograph, I wouldn't have known that because that's hard to see in that photograph. Look at the one furthest away from you, the left one. And you'll be able to see that
the color is
bent slightly. You see it?
Yeah, I see
yeah.
That. But what I'm thinking is the color blends in so well with the sky, that would camouflage it quite a bit.
Yeah.
Well,
you see it right there. There's the. You see right above the marking right there. You see the line that goes across, and they didn't do that on the stealth. Now, there's a good reason. There's a good reason why they Prussian on the aileron.
This kind of shelf-like structure that's very much like the F-16.
You mean kind of that edge fin?
Yeah,
on the nose?
Exactly.
You can say that is
and F-18 too.
Some of that same technology is still working with. You have that sharp edge.
Bingo.
Yeah.
But that sharp edge ejects electrons while the curved surfaces makes electrons stick to them. Or the electrons stick to a curved surface. It's standard electrodynamics, but it works well if you want to design a vehicle that has no moving parts and doesn't depend dynamic pressure differences for lift. And can take off vertically, descend vertically. And has no
kind of picture I just showed you
no speed limit.
X36.
Is that a prototype or is that going into production as we speak?
I think they actually built that in 17.
Well, then what's the prototype?
Hello.
Why does it sound so bad with
Couple times they were dealing with like the reverse swing where it comes up and back.
really here?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you got to close the other window. You have another window open, and it's 30 seconds behind us.
Yeah. I'm actually tired now.
Cool. Yeah, there are some advantages to having fully swept wing in like certain aircraft, especially if the engine is at the back instead of on the wings or on the side back.
This is one of the sites of UFO crash on the map.
Disconnect.
And
What year was that? You heard about the accident?
Oh yeah.
I went to Hart Canyon.
Your audio is cutting out. Back in, I can't understand the word you're saying. It's like that. It's not coming through.
Saw the pumping station for the El Paso gas, and even the plants were pretty much all the same. And up on top of the mesa, on top of the plateau, it was so dry. I mean, it was.
I don't know what you've changed, but I can't talk to you at all. It just comes out as like Charlie Brown stuff.
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to you, No Name. You have a technical problem at your end.
Oh, the headset died. I put it on charge. It should be good.
Matter of fact, that airplane almost got
That's Strategic Air Command?
Okay, well, this may be not a good time. I mean, unless you have, some history or about who Russell Anderson is. I was kind of hoping Flubber was going to join so he could talk to Russell himself.
That was the one that was used months.
I appreciate that, hon. And I don't mind just hanging around. I appreciate you. You know that.
The X1.
That and your exercises.
Same idea, yeah.
And
that could carry some nuclear weaponry.
it could, but that wasn't.
Oh yes. Very important.
Yeah, it's been a
very important topic.
What do we got?
Sub-shuttle tunnels. Yeah.
Oh, is that the concentration of sightings, or is that the location of the tunnel? You take those two maps, the sightings, okay, and their time from Muson. You take that map, you put it on top of that map, and guess what? It's all over those tunnels. And the only place you're finding UFOs is over those tunnels. That's it. And here's wait a minute, you've got more of it than I do. Wait a second. He has the southwest. Let me see that.
Most of them are on the main lines on the 37th parallel. That's critical.
All right, here's the one. Here's the one that the entranceway is. This one here is the one in St. Louis. The entrance for that, you follow the railroad tracks north of St. Louis, and on the St. Louis or on the Missouri side, just before the train tracks cross, there is 6 truck entryways, and the trucks that are going there are taking China shipping containers. The China shipping containers, and this was completely by coincidence. I know exactly where it was coming from. There's a friend of mine who was a truck driver, who was doing something, and he caught this government contract. Okay, and what he was doing is picking up just literally ears of corn directly out of the field, and he was transporting that to the rail yard, and they were putting the corn in China shipping containers. I found the other end of where they were going. They were being put on there. They were taken to St. Louis. They were unloaded at St. Louis and went to the underground dump. I found the other end. Okay.
That's weird.
That's
pretty weird.
You know about
I noticed this line right here.
That's
That's along the 37th minus the 37th parallel. Right adjacent to the 37th parallel.
All right. Well, this here is a lot more extensive. Was yet constructed. It stopped it here and up, went across, came over. No, originally this here came across here, went to St. Louis City, and then there was a triangle here that it formed.
the one.
Yeah, I know. From here to St. Louis, and then across. But they have this and this. I bet you sit there and you look at your news broadcast from here to here, you're going to find sinkholes. That's been knocked out. The ones in Florida, They're not even on this map. I'll tell you what's in Florida because that was built separately from the coast to coast. Okay, they have starting in Jacksonville. It runs from Jacksonville down to Miami. Then it crosses. There's a one. It's kind of here. Does not make it to Pensacola, but there's a line that goes north and south here, and then the line that goes north and south here. But this line is interrupted, and there is a funny jog right at the Everglades in order to keep the Everglades from seeping in, apparently. But I've seen that map, and the only thing that was Miami, there was a loop in Washington, and then there was, but the transcontinental that was not completed yet.
No, this is the one that's completed.
It's still being built.
Oh, so it hasn't been completed.
No.
Okay.
Okay, and then with
Is that like the
yeah, that's it. This is the but.
Is that the one that's put in?
Is there a talk starting now?
Is that the first map of evacuated train? You need to show that to alien scientists because he's up on the evacuated trains. I can tell you there's another mystery. You know all this business of booms and strains? It's real simple.
In New Mexico.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, well that created this vacuum tunnel through a section of the tunnel and is making the state.
Of course, because it's a standing one.
How is it someone that comes here, supposedly over by Space Center?
Right here in Albuquerque?
Right here. From what Los Angeles, New Mexico in that picture.
Yeah.
Well, this is,
Here, right here is the Texas panhandle. Wait, no, the other panhandle. It's under Paso.
but if you follow this, where's Albuquerque at now?
Just like right
So
above.
that-
Okay, yeah.
Now, Hyperline
Underneath it.
Strange.
Sound.
And the unfortunate certain emails from girl that just really made me. It was the boring machine. That was the same time I entered all of that information come down. That was
went to school here as a kid. His dad worked up in Santa Fe.
Oh, I believe it.
That was
plenty of the portals will.
right.
Is aimed that direction. That's okay. When you get to that portal, you in series. So without ever materializing, a portal is an extension or.
And
Diablo, yeah.
to
It's freaking amazing.
was that
That gave I can actually. It was 7 years ago.
This is supposed to
You know what this reminds me of?
That's just unit level.
This reminds that instead of being
That one's circular. This floor.
right,
Okay, this is it's sticking out like this.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Now,
And
okay,
then
it's the original contractors that were building.
more like
Who lost 3 fingers because of it? And he lost 3 fingers. He was
I
killed.
I know who you're talking.
Word out the best he could. The thing to do. This was a military. It was working on a story that was supposed to be underground, and right that was based off of this. That's the act.
I know.
Wait a minute. Listen. The base they are just built this base, thinking that.
That's back in the 4th grade.
But that's where thing to do with the alien. It's just a virus and it's not having credentials. Stay away.
The terrestrial virus.
Was of the creation for the origin. Strange traffic that always seemed to go. Said his name again. It just gave worth of beard. The alien come out and he killed everybody there. He was the only. Yeah, but he did. The thing of it is.
Are we socials at 8:30?
Oh, is it? That's to throw props on for aesthetics.
Intermodal cargo container, and it's
Now, in fact, at the show on top, the shape lifting body, it probably works. There's plenty of there and left, and exactly. So, yeah, I mean, the problem an additional 30%.
Now, I've worked
It was missing. Older designs do this, but I do know the thing. I mean, I wanted to know what kind of sense does that make? Your hand fits. Didn't care what it was doing. I was wondering. That
was the last one. They said when they flew
that's what I mean.
In 75.
These playing around with one of us squadron that they could from, and that was the original wings because they couldn't load it like. Oh yeah.
That was.
Oh.
And was the B-52 that Was the last?
This, it hasn't moved since pretty much I've worn it. It's always stayed on my body, on my person.
The ring itself? United States Air Force. Okay. The F-102.
It happens to be the wingman of someone that turned out to be extremely famous. And I believe it was the SR, yep, the one that was shot down.
Don't remember what
No, it was in the late 60s.
Okay.
Not SR-70.
You're talking about U-2.
Yeah, the U-2. That's it. The guy that got shot down.
Security Powers.
Yeah, this is his wingman's ring.
These guys, T-52s that were at Davis Bunker.
But do you see the in the design that wouldn't have been, issued recently?
No, that was.
Yeah, this is an ancient ring. And
we have the U-2s in our squadron as well as the DC-130.
But
and the DC-130.
wait a minute, what was your MLS?
I was 431X1F.
I want to say systems,
But
electrical.
No,
That's just
the whole aircraft. I'm supposed to know everything about it. Now, if I come up with a problem on that,
all right.
I would have to know.
Now we have a new one. You already know it, and you already have it.
What?
Kind of Tesla application that they use on the U-2. I have it straight from the pilot. You want to share it with me?
I don't know anything about it. All I know is I rode the wing on one of those out to the boneyard.
Okay. There was within the electronic countermeasures, literally shields up.
Now, you remember that?
Yeah, the TR-3B. Actually, that's a poor picture of it. The top of it's wrong. I can show you constructionally correct. Yep, that's the one. But this flange is not there. There's two pieces. No, maybe it is. Wait a minute. The rudders have been moved in slightly, shortened, and moved in a little bit and moved ahead. There's two of them. The cockpit is up here. It is absolutely directional, even though it travels multi-directional. It's absolutely direct. Over Jerusalem, over that chapter, for that series of photos. What it does, it shows you, see.
That was supposed to be, I think,
the body of the Aurora. This is the TR-3A. Okay. There has, the TR-3. What it is, the added he comes to a stop. But the thing of it is, you still have the vortex, and you are weightless, so you're still going to have, without a tail rope, the magnetic vortex this way, from your point of view, and then he's sitting there and he slowly rotates. He's raising up like this, and right here, you can actually see exactly what you're seeing. They move forward a little bit, and they've been moved. This is just a concept design where, that's kind of where it belongs. I don't know, put it out there on the wing. That's what it looks good at. Yeah. It's like, but basically that's what this is. But I can have footage of it in operation. Bill Snyder. And somebody, YouTube watcher, ever I would have not thought of that because of the Bill Snyder kind of a something. So that it knocks that word out of my vocabulary. I can't focus. Valence. Yeah. Are man-made. The ones, there's been confirmation of things at computer animation because it's just some symmetric metrics with the type of propulsion they're using, but the shape and what it looks like, it has points on the end, it has a circle, a great big line. That's not practical engineering. The amount of, square footage, right? You don't sit there and take all your 1-inch point over there. It just, and there's nothing functional. It's bumped into something that I think that what she was absolutely genuine. She just selected a series of CGI to replace the and nomenclature of the project, which was encoded on just like the N number or the N number off an airplane, you know, they had the actual project number listed on it, man-made, stealth supersonic. Conventional flight. No. Deionizer. It's just not right. All right. On the original one, this here coils are vertical and they're circular and they're set in the roundness, a bunch of pie plates that when you put your hand on, like this is a bunch of pie plates stacked. And this here is like the top rail of an ion. This is the bottom rail or the aluminum foil part, right? Through the engine, as well as if you increase the power on this, flow over the airfoil, flowing a little bit. But you're the fastest mother trucker on the planet now, and I'll tell you why. Did you hear about the capitating torpedoes? Torpedoes that can break the sound barrier.
I know that
what they do is they push air out the front of the torpedo and create a bubble in front of the torpedo that's always there. They just keep pushing air out. Because there's a bubble that it's moving into, it can go faster and faster. Care of it helps the bubble move along. Torpedoes. You see how this would act as a burning, it's just gone? It would act just like that. In the way, there's no drag on the aircraft anymore. That's the secret to this arrangement. It's the fastest mother trucker on the planet. But it is conventional.
One of the guys that I was doing television with, who was working for Rocket Band, goes up to about 20. They would launch it out of Alaska towards Hawaii,
right
up there. And they've had a few, you know.
Because either food kept them there,
or the next speaker.
Exactly. I think food kept them there. I got news for you, man. I'm not getting up on the piano and showing my learning. Yes, but I have a small. There you go. There you go. No, I heard the music is right. Oh no. Yeah, we'll get some. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Make you a god. Being a god isn't that really that great. They just give you a planet. That's all they give you. It's a cool job, though. All you get is a plaque you put on the wall. Yeah, that's it, I think. Oh, yeah, that's well, Wednesday. You took all the. I am never going to make it to supper, ready or not. I lost Russell. He went to see if the supper was ready, and he only went back. So, we're being better, huh? So it's not ready yet. Yeah.
Tell him if there's music in your
Upstairs. Maybe he did hear it, and yeah, I'll run him. You want me to run down?
plays the drums, I know that. You know, I was going to go up to my room.
Pink Floyd, The Wall. Look, with my poems in, got a good. Throw me a bone. Yeah. Oh no. Head and the inevitable fall down the front of my face. Hey, we're partying, dude. Oh no. Yeah, right. If you play, you can join that. I can't play. I can play pool like a monster. Oh my god. Trio, but it sounded like they were okay. Well, they would yeah, they was only trio. Oh jeez. I would be saying, man. And that's the real job's in the way, man. The guy goes. Girl sits there and asks him, "Oh, how come you don't?" Well, you can now. Heard that one before. Black.
You got a printout of the lecture already?
No.
I do, Young Johnson.
Time when I guess I never will. There we go. That's so long since I heard that note. I think you're showing your. Daniel.
Oh, I know. Daniel, my brother.
We're gonna have to put a chip jar out here. You know that, don't you? Got news for you. There's a lot of musicians here. A lot of. Yeah. Without one, maybe you don't have a talent for the other. All right. Flubber, you're finally here. Join tomorrow in the morning for I will see if we can put you. Mr. Anderson. Yeah? You'd be able to talk. What, you'll come out so long now. Your heart will pleasing you. Diamonds, boy, she's able. And I am very hard on these lips. A song that I don't know the words of. One that can actually sing low. Crack. Only want to want you. That's right. Oh, freedom. World all alone. You down more than a day. As a rainbow above you better let somebody. And I came back. Oh, I love it. In heaven. I don't know where the other half is. Wow. Flubber loves you again.
Oh, Flubber.
Yes. No, I was able to actually introduce today, and he flipped out. He's been following, and he was really excited about that. Oh, there we go. We needed the candle on the piano there. Look at that. America was a wisdom. Let it be. Was a wisdom. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Here was the wind, and I could never hit that note. Going to be Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I wanted to see this. Oh, no, it isn't. Nice. God, yes, I would want. How old this is? Leather is almost, oh my God. This year is uncured. This year's, my God, that is beautiful. And here's, look at that. And that is the leather they make saddles out of. That is an impressive. This place is those. Can I take those home with me?
Oh, no.
No. Right. Higher time. Because then it's just a supper. And they don't. People. Yeah, like I said. Yeah. I actually bought a saxophone recently.
No way.
Yes. No, I was, like halfway here, and it's like, and the reason being is because I am not necessarily a musician. I picked it up my unnatural, strange on The Simpsons. And I mean, saxophone has always been something that and I found out something.
Did you go?
It only had
Sunday. Yeah, Sunday's actually just better. Name these equipment like has to be by a company.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's like for
Only
trash.
Oh, that's great. I connected to a 9-volt battery, tack the dang thing up there to make everyone feel like it's actually working for something, and then sit there and have a horn directly.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, you walk into an inventor's house, you're gonna get inventions, right?
Yeah.
Always had a bad practical joke.
You got a Lego Tesla file.
That's not a bad practical. Well, you sit there, have a bunch of lecturing, and somebody has to visit, and oh my God, you can't. Oh yeah, I guess. Okay, and anything, press that button if there's anything that goes wrong, but do not press that button. Call them on the phone and says, dude, it's an emergency. You got to press that button. I can't get in the room. Yeah, you can just their head. Come on, that's too fun.
Yeah, I don't have to do that. The mental capacity.
No. I've been coming up with them. You try to come up with it. You won't come up with an idea at all. And then what do you do?
Here's my thought. What if we got there and stuck in from the center? We shoot it from the center. Yeah.
That's the idea.
Yeah. That's so you can do that with this equipment. Yeah. Oh wow. That'd be perfect. You can do quarter wavelength, half wavelength, and full wavelength.
Perfect.
For higher octaves.
The resonance is what makes it gonna slide. Or,
yeah. So basically, what that will do is it'll create a standing wave.
Exactly.
Basically, in this shape, in a circle around it.
More like a toroid.
Yeah, there'll be a toroid
because
above
of the spinning magnet.
So the toroid
form that.
The toroid above would be over here. The toroid below would be over there.
Exactly.
And here's one for you.
Exactly. You got it. Two toroids.
In order to bring this up to an effective speed, what do you think the RPMs of those rotors should be?
Doesn't matter. Has nothing to do with that.
One revolution a minute.
They're literally to an external magnetic field. So
yeah,
I don't see what speed would be.
Well, speed, I
think the magnetic field that's formed by the spinning magnet is
the frequency.
The Earth's magnetic field.
The frequency here, when this here rotates with a magnet test point, is your frequency.
What do you think?
Touch the bottom wheel and I show you on that. But it has magnet, okay? If I look at this point here, on off, it's an AC, okay? If I move this at 1 minute, okay, any of the wash, any of the drag that's built up between that and the magnet itself.
I don't think you understand what I'm talking about. Basically,
I think that
it's hollow. It's hollow inside. It's a form of resonant cavity. I have no idea why they made it hollow inside. It's made in Mexico.
Hollow inside.
Yeah, hollow inside.
How large is the opening inside?
Is it accurate? As large
if
as
that's the case, that's
right to the edge. Right to the edge.
How close?
And that's hollow too.
How close have you brought this down to this?
Guys in California, around Northern California, around Reno, Nevada.
How close have you brought these plates down?
Oh, down like maybe a couple of centimeters. But then I get arcing to the center plate.
Good.
No, I don't want arcing to the center plate.
What you do is you just adjust it so you have an arc on both sides, and then adjust which one, because one is going to affect the other.
I'm only getting arcing on the top.
Okay, well, what you want to do is come to that threshold. The fact that you got arcing, it shows that you actually have flow. If you have flow, now the only thing you have to do is reflect it or deflect it. Wait a minute.
We're talking about reacting with a electromagnetic wave that's basically attached to the space.
Yes.
The lower disc, spinning disc should be as wide as the plate then. As center plate, and top one should be half the size. Because you want to get both ends of the wavelength. You get there would be a bubble over here going up.
Remember I told you that would
going down and have magnet.
Remember I told you you have to have two forces, not just one? Yeah, remember I told you that? That's what it is. And he just described it in your language. I couldn't describe it that way. I'm sorry. I'm more of a professional observer. Okay, and I can pick up on any chapter you want, but then when you get down to the page number and what it actually says in the middle, I don't know.
So are you going to be available on Sunday to get checked out the equipment?
I don't know. I got to see what my wife is doing, but I would love to. Anyway, I'll drag her along if need be. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's leave here.
Have you ever been to Oro Caliente in northern New Mexico?
No, I haven't.
It's about 47 minutes north of Santa Fe. And it is the most incredible hot springs I have ever seen. And it's a spa. It was one of the first spas in the United States. For like, you just, totally soak in those all different kind of mineral springs. They come from magma and they're hot because they're in a magma chamber like miles and miles and miles underneath the earth. It's an ancient sacred Native American site also. It was really, really fun.
Run my camera up to high speed.
We're so relaxed, we go back through Santa Fe for dinner. They get a real authentic Santa Fe dinner.
Well, we'll see. Change direction. It's only like 25 minutes.
Actually, we'll probably go to Ojo on Monday, so yeah, that might work out, yeah.
Yeah, like he's giving me great prices, like 50% off of the ad on eBay.
Ooh, wow. Because you're right here.
Yeah, literally right here. You don't love this.
Yeah, oh, well, oh, cool. Does he have a business card or something? What's this place called? I would love to go there.
It's on eBay, the entire inventory.
Because you can text me a link to the inventory. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I would really, really, really be interested.